Okay, it's 10:15 on the 15th. I have 52.8 on the batteries. I let it basically fill up. What I came up with, if the wheel can't drop, these should stay engaged. There isn't a lot of bite on them, but basically the weight would normally be down, so if you hit a bump, maybe you could pop the wheel out. Normally there isn't much tension. So I did do my haywire trick after all. Thanks, Mom. Basically, I'm just tying the axle in an upward direction so it can't pop out. And we'll just go as gentle as we can. I brought extra wire and the pliers with me. I got a handful of small tools, but nothing big. I didn't bring any tire stuff, mainly because I don't want to mess with, like, how do I carry my tire pump on here? It's a great big tire pump. I didn't come up with an easy solution, so I just decided to go with it. Hope for the best. Tires are holding air now. Both pretty new tires, so. All right. I've got all the water bottles full, and I got about half a gallon left in there. When that's empty, I'll either throw it away or refill it if I can. It's about 120 miles to Alamogordo. I know there's an Enterprise place there, so when I get close, I can start Googling to get that. I have 2 battery charger batteries for the phone, because when I'm disconnected from the trailer, I don't have a 12-volt feed. I got power to the battery, to the bike battery, but it doesn't go to the phone. So since I know where I'm going, basically, I will just leave the phone off as much as I can, and I should have plenty for that. When I do get down there, I've got the phone charger that I can plug into the cigarette lighter on the vehicle. And I just realized I don't need a van, because all of those will break down small enough, so if I get a little compact car, it would be completely fine. So I can take the wheels off the bike, put the bike in the trunk pretty easily. So I'll just, whatever they got, I don't need the van. I'll just break it down into little bits. Yeah, anyway, off we go. The recovery starts now. We'll see how long it lasts. Well, I guess I am in the forest. Not huge trees, but I guess they count. I've gone about 20 miles already. I would have been mad if I would have figured out some way to carry the solar panel, because it's getting cloudy. So that's helping me, I guess, because it's not quite as hot, but I am pushing a headwind again, so that's kind of sad. I'll just say that. Anyway, keep chipping away. Battery's holding up pretty good. Bike is super efficient when I'm not dragging the trailer, so I'm only using like normally 100 watts or less instead of 250 kind of thing. So it does roll a lot nicer. Hey, here we go. Yeah, a little bit after 3. Wind is up and down, blows, doesn't blow, whatever. I thought these hills were kind of cool looking. Pretty country. I'm just in not a very good mood right now. I'm just cranky and dirty, tired. Okay, it's about 7 p.m. I've got almost 47 volts still. I've got 45 miles to Alamogordo. Clear skies in front of me. Looks like we'll be okay on weather. Sun is going to go down in about an hour or so. I got about an hour of daylight left and 3 hours of riding if I push hard. So I'll be running some lights at night. I got a couple flashlights I can use. Not ideal, but it is what it is. Just a quick status update though. Man, is it weird not having a trailer behind me. liking it though. I'm definitely looking ahead to the next idea. I considered this briefly, but I didn't think I had, well, with the compromised back wheel, I wasn't sure if I wanted to even try it. That's actually holding up fine. I was considering though, I probably had enough parts I could have rigged up a temporary mount for one solar panel. Then I wouldn't be worried about power, but today I was pushing a lot of headwind and a lot of clouds, so I wouldn't have gotten much solar anyway. But we'll talk more about that later. Anyway, as it turned out, I've got a reservation for the car. I pick it up tomorrow, and I should be in town early enough to get a room, so I reserved a Motel 6. I got someplace to clean up, because the last thing I want to do is crawl in a car when I got 6 days of butt sweat. So I figured it'd be nice to take a shower before I jumped in a car. That's only polite. So just a quick break to catch my breath, and then we'll press on. Yeah, man, without a trailer dragging, this thing coasts along. If the headwind isn't too bad, I can cruise at 100 watts. I never could do that with the trailer. So that's a huge difference. So that makes me think, yeah, if I kind of copied Octane from the Sun Trip, just have one solar panel hanging out behind me on a rack, that would be enough. So if I can get my weight down. So I'm looking at that really hard, and we'll talk more about that later, but I got to get going. Yeehaw. I was just thinking these mountains look kind of like the ones by my place. Starting to feel almost like home. Or something. According to the GPS, which I am not having a lot of faith in lately, I got about 5 miles of level, then about 15 miles of kind of downhill. So we'll see if that holds true. Not much sun left, but we should have daylight for a little bit after that goes down. Go! Alright, end of day report. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning. Motel 6. I got here about midnight. Hit the road at about 10 o'clock this morning. Planned on hitting the road at 8 o'clock this morning, but by the time I got over the shock of breaking that axle and then figuring out how to improvise it back together, yeah, it actually worked. I was kind of surprised. Basically all I did, I took some galvanized fencing wire and I tied the wheel up so that it couldn't fall out of the dropouts. Did that on both sides. Didn't give me any trouble. Thinking about it, I should have been doing that for the whole time, because that wheel would always get knocked out by the trailer. So if I had thought to do that 6 months ago. Anyway, without the trailer, basically everything I have had to fit in the backpack or in the front tool bag, basically. So then when I got here, I had to dig around and see what I had. I didn't bring any clean clothes. I'm wearing my sweats that I usually sleep in. When I took a shower, I rinsed out my underwear and my shirt. Probably had those on for about a week now. That's pretty gross, but I have not had a shower since Wyoming. Yeah, the last Motel 6 was in Wyoming. And I haven't hit any rest stops since then, so, well, no, I take that back. I hit 1 or 2 rest stops, I guess, but the sink wasn't working, and I forget what the other one was. But I basically didn't get to wash up at all. Yeah. So, pretty much needed it. So yeah, I had to dig around and all the whatnot, charger cables, and without the trailer, I didn't have my 12 volt system working, because that's part of the trailer. That's got to get changed, but anyway, got here with just about nothing left of the bike battery. I did not bring the charger with me, which would have been nice, but not really necessary, because I'm going to pick up the car tomorrow, or later today now. So had one battery, lasted me all the way here to keep the phone going. Had a spare. Guess it wasn't fully charged either. It's still charging. So I thought it was charged. That's the problem with those batteries. It takes so stinking long to recharge them. Anywho. Yeah. I'm going to edit this real quick and get it posted so everybody knows what's going on. If I forget what's going on, you guys can remind me. Oh. So, since most of you didn't see the Facebook post, and no, I'm not looking for any more people on Facebook, so don't worry about it. 119 miles today on the bike with electrics, but no solar, so I had to be extremely careful not to run out of battery, because that's one of the things I'm really used to, is being able to push it hard and then slack off and the solar will recharge it, right? Well, with the broken rear axle on the rear wheel of the bike, there was no way I was going to pull the trailer, and I was really not sure if I was going to make it the way it was anyway. So the trailer would have been just certain death, or destruction. Probably not my death, but the death of the bike or the trailer or the wheel, or bad things would have happened. So it actually worked out okay though, because I had a headwind most of today and it was pretty cloudy off and on. So it was like, well, pulling the solar trailer wouldn't have made a lot of difference because there wasn't very much sun. Something I considered briefly that I kind of thought about after the fact again would have been a good idea. If I would have rigged one solar panel off of the back of the bike without the trailer, might have been a good idea, because it would have got something. But oh man, this was like a kind of validation for what everybody has known since the beginning, how much drag the trailer actually has, especially the little wheels, and aerodynamic drag and weight and just everything. It's just horrible, right? But for the trip, I had everything I needed, so what are you gonna do, right? Also, the trailer I have now isn't the trailer I started with, so for some of the new people that didn't see the original trailer, the first trailer was a one-wheel design that used a full-size bicycle tire, so it was much, much better in that respect. And in fact, at the time, it had the same size of wheel as the bike did. And there was actually a time where I had to swap, excuse me, had to swap wheels from the back of the bike to the trailer, just traded them, because I had something go wrong. I think the freewheeler quit working on one of them, so I just swapped wheels. That worked out really good. Okay, hang on. Okay, that's maybe better. It's been a long day, and this eye is really tweaking. Got a bunch of crap in it, bugs and dust and wind, and yeah, anyway, so maybe. So I kind of made this up as I was going, because one, I didn't have any idea if the bike was going to get me this far. Two, I knew there was an Enterprise rental place here in Alamogordo. There wasn't anything closer except for one up on, there's a hill or a mountain that would have been about 40 miles closer, but it was up a really big hill, and I really didn't feel like going up any more hills. So it would have been maybe a little bit closer, but harder to get to, so I decided not to. And also Alamogordo had, but it's closer or on the way to El Paso. So if something happened, I was already on the way to El Paso. So that's kind of what I was looking at. Oh, and there's a bike shop here in town also, which, so I could get the part for the bike. But what I was realizing is I was about halfway here and I hadn't actually reserved a car. I just knew there was a rental place here. So what I had hoped to do was get well, at first I wanted to get a van so I could just throw the trailer in the back of the van, right? Well, I got to thinking about it. I can take the bike apart and fit it into a little car, right? If I had to. And the car would be a lot cheaper than the van, plus it would be cheaper on gas. And all of the trailer would fit, I can take it apart also. So I'll just take it all apart and put it in the back of the car. And so I was trying to get a few days on the car and have it returned to El Paso. That wasn't working. I couldn't figure out what the problem was because on my phone it would just say, didn't work, or finally it said sold out. So I was kind of experimenting, and because I wanted it for several days so I could do a few things while I was at it and not have to hurry. And I realized I could get a car for one day. So basically pick it up noon one day, bring it back noon the next day. And that came out to less than $100 instead of several $100s like I thought I was going to pay for the van. So what we're going to end up doing, the problem is I have to bring it back here. Right? So, okay, so here's the way this is going to play out as of now, because it could change by tomorrow. Wake up in the morning, get checked out of here, probably grab something for breakfast. There's an IHOP right next to here, but it wasn't open 24 hours. Oh, let me back up. I walked half a mile to the Denny's to get something to eat tonight because I was kind of hungry, long bike ride. So, yeah, let's walk a half a mile to the Denny's after riding 119 miles on the bike. Oh. Yeah, it was worth it, but the irony hit me on the way back when my legs were kind of not feeling so good. I'm like, yeah, it's probably a good thing I did walk though, because that helps actually. Yeah, you don't want to get off the bike and then just immediately go to bed or fall down like I usually do. So anyway, so grabbing some IHOP in the morning. The rental place isn't very far from here. I don't remember. I think I must have went past it, but I didn't see it. So I'll backtrack, get that. There's also a bike shop in town, so if I can find the bike shop pretty easily, I'll see if I can get the part right away, and then I'm just done. Okay. So, let's see. So then the plan is go 120 miles back into the desert, pick up the trailer, take it completely apart, fit it in the car. I'm not going to ride or use that trailer as it is anymore. One way or another, it's going to get changed. So I'm just going to take everything apart, carefully undo all the wires, and break it down small enough to fit in the car. Now, I don't have to completely strip it right now, but I'm going to have to get it pretty small to fit in the car, depending what car I get. I got a free upgrade to I started with the smallest car, and then they give me a one upgrade, same price, so whatever. Slightly bigger than the small one. We'll see it tomorrow. So drive 2 hours back into the desert, get the trailer, hopefully it's still there, whatever. Then what I'm going to do is take the trailer and the bike all the way out to the ranch, leave the trailer, and then see if I can quickly improvise a way to mount one solar panel on the back of the bike. And if anybody saw the Sun Trip videos, there was a guy named Octay. He was one of the camera guys that was filming for a documentary about our race or the event. So he had a single solar panel hanging off the back of his bike, and thinking about it, that's got to be about the simplest solution I could think of. So if I could hang one panel off of the back of the bike without the trailer, I was really easily cruising along. Unless there was a lot of headwind, I could cruise at 80 watts and pedal and be fine. That's how I got so far today. There was a lot of times I was just pedaling and not using any power because I didn't have the drag of the trailer. Okay. If I needed a little boost, I could hit the throttle and go up a hill, or if I started pushing a headwind, I started playing with the throttle, and with the cruise control, I could set it to 100 watts or 80 watts or 150 watts. And I would just set it as low as possible, but also try to make as good a time as possible because I knew I had to go a long ways. Okay, so what I ended up doing though, I stopped, it was probably about 50 miles into the ride and started looking to see what I could find for a rental car. One, maybe there was a place that was closer that I hadn't seen the first time. Just, figured take a look. Nope, there was nothing closer. So then I was like, okay, go through the process of actually getting the reservation. And that's when I realized I could only get it for one day. So I got it for 24 hours. And then I was riding along and I got to thinking about it. It was like, I haven't had a shower for over a week. I'm going to get in this car, and I'm going to just completely stink it up. And I'm just feeling gross. I don't want to sit in a car, after I've been on the bike for a week. So I thought about it. I'm like, well, I started playing with the numbers and I realized if I really pushed it, like to within an inch of what I had left, basically, I could get here. And then so I looked and yep, there was a Motel 6. I'm like, okay. So then I had something to work for, right? Otherwise, I just would have slept on the side of the road and I didn't even have my sleeping bag with me. I was just as light as I could be for today. So I thought about it, like, well, if I really try, I can get to here, which involved about 4 hours of riding in the dark. And then I wasn't sure what I had for flashlights. And, I don't have a headlight on the bike because I never planned on riding it in the dark. I do have a tail light, but not a headlight. So it was kind of like, I'm looking around and what I had left. Yeah, I had a little flashlight, so I taped it onto the mirror. And then I had a headlamp that I put on. And neither one of them had very good batteries. So it was just like, like, oh no, I'm going to be out there, in the dark with no light. And so it was pretty sketchy. But I had made the reservation on the side of the road to make sure I had a room. And so I rolled in here right at like midnight. I think it was midnight when I came into the room, so I checked in a little before midnight. So that means I rode from 10 a.m. to midnight is 14 hours, right? So not super fast, but a good steady pace. I stopped a few times, just got off the bike and rested and hit a dollar store and I had some Snickers and bought a couple Cokes and and I had refilled all my water bottles, plus I brought about a half a gallon, which was basically I think all the water I had on the trailer. I brought all the water with me. And when I bought the Cokes, I could have bought some more water, but I figured I had enough. And I got here and I had like about a liter left. It was pretty close. So fortunately I had 3 hours after dark, so it wasn't that hot, but I was still drinking water. So yeah, anyway. So the plan is get everything home, get rid of all the heavy stuff, drop the trailer, see if I can quickly improvise a way to mount a single solar panel and the charge controller to the bike. It's basically going to be a couple of struts that come from the axle up to the back of the panel. I'll show you pictures when I get it figured out. It'll be one panel behind me, and that's going to be it. And what I'm thinking is I have such a small amount of drag on the bike, if I get rid of the trailer, I don't need 2 panels. I think one will be plenty, and I can still pedal if I need to. So that's kind of what I'm going for. And then I'll make sure to bring the charger with me, so if I need to, I can stop somewhere and charge it. But I don't think I'll have to. So basically, I got 24 hours, go back and get the trailer, get everything out to the ranch. I'm gonna probably hit a Walmart on the way out, pick up some groceries, take advantage of having the car, and then leave everything out there and just bring the bike and just the minimum of what I need. And then basically, I'm not going to push as hard as I did tonight, but now I know without the trailer I can do probably 70-mile days really easily. And it's basically, it's 60 miles, 60 or 70 miles from here, Alamogordo, to El Paso, and from El Paso it's 100 miles to the ranch. Okay, so if I split El Paso to the ranch in half, I'll have a pretty easy time. So I can ride, 3 days will get me back home, and I can probably survive 3 days with, without the army cot. I've done it a couple times already, so not a big deal. And then I'll be home. Okay. So really there wasn't any convenient places that I could find that I could have taken a rental car back anyway out towards Sierra Blanca. So this was kind of in the plan one way or another anyway. So not a big deal. It's just, well, it's like when I sold the truck. I rode a bike all the way home. It took me, well, it was, thinking about it, I sold the truck. I had the guy drop me off on the edge of El Paso, closest to getting out of town, so I didn't have to ride all the way through town. So I was on the bike at 4 p.m. is how it worked out. And I rode all through the night, which actually worked out really good because it was summertime and it was hot. So by riding through the night, it was much, much cooler. And I hit a few of the dollar stores on the way. Just kept buying snacks. I had a backpack full of cash. It was pretty funny. The guy paid me in 20s. It's like, so my backpack was just stuffed with 20s. Yeah, so I'm just riding my bike down the road. Crazy, but yeah. So it's like, I know the ride. It's a fairly easy ride. It's 100 miles. Well, I just did 120, so I think I can handle it. Plus, if I have the batteries and if they're charged, it'll be fairly easy compared to what I did last time. So, yeah. And if I have the charger with me, I could maybe go hit a library for a couple hours, let the battery recharge, and then I'd be in really good shape again. So, that's the plan. All right. I'm tired. I'm going to do a quick video and get this posted. So, thank you to everybody who chipped in to help me get out of this mess, and thanks for all the good ideas. By the time I saw most of the ideas, I was already basically done as far as figuring out what I was going to do. Yeah, I kind of feel bad when everybody pitches in with all these ideas, and it's like, well, they're good ideas, but some of them would be just a lot slower than what I was able to do without. So, yeah. And I didn't realize when I posted the video this morning that I could get a car for so much cheaper. Also, I only got the car for 1 day. When I got the van, I think I had it for 5 days. So that's why I figured $500. So, yeah, I didn't mean to do that, but thanks for everybody that chipped in. It'll go to a good cause. Also, and as it turns out, I'm not going to skip any of the ride because I get the car in Alamogordo, so I've ridden all the way from the desert to here, and then I got to drive way out, get the rest of my stuff, and then go all the way to the ranch, get rid of all the stuff I don't need, come back to here, and then I'll ride from here to El Paso and then to the ranch anyway. So turns out I didn't get to skip anything anyway. But that gives me the advantage of getting rid of the trailer and all the extra stuff I don't need. So yay for that. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for everything. Much appreciated. And tomorrow I get to see if I can remember how to drive again. Bye for now.